Aloha kako. Mahalo for joining us today. We will begin our session with a pule by HSD Administrator Juan Garcia. Thank you, Juan.
Mahalo, Chair. Let's dedicate this time to prayer. Heavenly Father, we give you thanks and we give you praise. Mahalo for this beautiful day. We invite your presence, Lord. Holy Spirit, come. Fill this place with your love and your peace. Fill us with your love and your grace. And Father, we pray that you bless every single person here present in this room and those attending via virtual, that you provide us with prosperity. Prosper us in every way, relationally, spiritually, physically, and materially, Lord, that you would provide all our needs. Father, we pray that you would impart to us wisdom and knowledge today as we discuss business before the commission. We pray that none of us will take offense to what is said. Help us to be the solution rather than the problem, Lord. Again, we give you thanks. Bless those that have traveled afar, that you would deliver them home safely to their families. We pray these things in Jesus' name. Amen.
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 Thank you, Juan. This meeting is being held virtually on Zoom and in person at Haleponui, 915420 Kapolei Parkway, Kapolei, Oahu, 96707. I'm Walt Kaneakua, filling in for Chair Watson, who is attending other DHHL business. Today's date is Wednesday, February 18th, 2026. Leah, please call the roll.
Commissioner Freitas is excused. Commissioner Kalekini.
Aye.
Commissioner Kalepa, joining us virtually. Commissioner Kalepa?
No, we see him and he's answering. Yep,
Okay, why can't he?
he's good.
Okay. Commissioner Lasua by Zoom.
Aye.
I cannot hear them.
Aye.
Nope, I can hear you, Lawrence. Thank you.
Marthel,
Ew.
She's answered affirmative.
Commissioner Namu is excused. Commissioner Ornelas is excused. Chair Watson is excused, and Chair Pro Tem Walt Kaneakua is 5. So
Okay.
we have a quorum.
We have a quorum with 5. The commission in, hold on, let's see. The
One second.
We'll begin this morning's testimony, or this morning with public testimony, followed by Agenda J. The commission will recess for lunch at 12 o'clock noon, and the commission will again recess at 2 o'clock for a contested case hearing. If there are any remaining J agenda items, the commission will reconvene at 3 o'clock to finish our business. So we have no public testimony signed up for this morning, so we will begin with the J agenda to assure that we can accommodate all testimonies within our allotted time. We kindly ask each of you to be concise and as efficient as possible. Please limit your remarks to 10 minutes to allow everyone the opportunity to be heard. Your cooperation we appreciate and will help us to assure a productive and timely session. Mahalo. So, agenda J1, James Mayoho.
Aloha, good morning.
Aloha.
Here, I brought some materials to follow, for you to follow along with this. The microphone?
Oh, yeah. I can help you.
Here,
Yeah.
actually.
And then I'll provide it to the commissioners who are online.
Yes, mahalo for having me. My name is James Myoho. The deck is pretty dense with material. So I'll try to get through that as expeditiously as possible. But it occurred to me that, I should give you some background and, maybe my bona fides, so everybody understands where I'm coming from with this. For those of you that don't know me or unfamiliar with me, my name is James J. Kalemamahu, Crowningburg, my Oho. I moved back to Oahu in early 2023 to take up my family's kuleana at Mauna Ala. And with the issues that arose out of the DLNR's actions there, I've spent the last couple of years working with the legislature and other folks to correct that. But prior to coming here, I had a career on the continent as a turnaround consultant and political advisor. So I spent a lot of time on large projects. I've done, maybe 350 some site visits and over 200 projects in 44 different states. A lot of large public projects. The facility for rare isotope beams I did with the Department of Energy and Michigan State University. That's a billion-dollar particle collider. That was, a decade in the making for that. Notre Dame Stadium, several hospitals. I was just entering my third term as chair of the city commission for the city of Grand Rapids, which is a million person plus city in the Midwest. So a lot of infrastructure planning, a lot of community planning, a lot of large, up out of the ground projects, stadiums, a lot of municipal work. And I've done that with various municipalities and advised on gubernatorial campaigns and things all around the continent. I got degrees in music and business. I've got postgrad at Harvard. So I'm trying to come at this from a very rounded place of experience of projects and other municipalities I've seen across the country. When I got involved with some of the efforts of folks like Brother Manaole back here and what the folks in like Auntie Lynette are doing up in Waianae, trying to find a solution to this wait list issue. And I don't need to go through all of the I read the same things you folks read, so I understand kind of both sides where everybody's coming from. And to me, when I look at the way DHHL is structured and what we're doing with these lands, there's very much a development track, which is necessary. But, development takes a long time and is very capital intensive, not, everything from water and sewer on up. And then you've got, the problem of financing and mortgages and all of those things that can't cash flow, which is why you're trying to double up people on mortgages or find co-signers or things of that nature. So we have all of this land. A lot of it's unmanaged, and that has, some unquantified costs to holding those lands. So I tried to look at what your available authorities were in your foundational documents and come up with maybe some alternatives that could run a parallel track to the development track that you have that could just place boots on the ground faster. And using kind of the carve out that was made for Mauna Ole and what these folks are doing up there, I think there's a way to utilize some of these lands in a transitional way that allows shelter and places for homeless to go after sweeps or things of that nature, but also allows Hawaiian boots to be back on Hawaiian ground and live in a less encumbered Hawaiian way. So, you know, as we get into the minutia of this, there'll be some opportunities for maybe more traditional building, more of that, and more of a stewardship based models on some of these lands in a transitional way, while we can cover kind of three different areas. One track will help people, you know, through like a rental aspect and build credit and save and do those things to get into this other model, this development model, and you know, mortgage a home and those things. Emergency placement just for people's, you know, humanitarian safety, and then a kind of a self-directed, self-managed care of an open lot that responds to more traditional hands-on management, really knowing that INA. So in the front, there is kind of the verbiage language of this. I can walk you through these concepts quick and just get that on the table, and hopefully can spark some conversation of this going forward. What I'm really asking the commission to do is study this and authorize a working group to develop these three tracks further, and without really any additional cost or much regulatory ado for you folks. So the first slide is the name of my our lobbyist group and think tank, really centered around protecting EV and has expanded into some of these other areas. Next slide, please. That's the bona fides. Next slide. These are things that are already brought up in one way or another. That every meeting that I've tried to listen to, and some of the other programs that the folks are bringing to you. Next slide, please. The first concept really came out of this. You know, the governor has embraced this Cow Holly concept with my auntie Blanche McMillan's my blood auntie, and she's done a wonderful thing out there in Waimanalo, and you know, the state has embraced that and they're expanding that. And I think if state land's good enough to do that on, that we should be able to do something like that on DHHL lands as well. So next slide, please. This is an overview of what they're doing out there. Next slide, please. They're tiny homes, you know, and that does meet the regulatory requirements for size and things, you know, to have that type of temporary structure in that nature. We're calling for kind of the same idea there. Next slide, please. They've already gotten buy-in and some grant money from OHA. So some of these other state agencies are already getting on board this concept. And, you know, and you've got kind of a smaller thing, but this would kind of codify and formalize this process. Next slide, please. Next slide. In your emergency powers and in your charter, we've already got all the authorizations to do that. You're already using revocable permits. There's already a right of entry example right here. Interim dispositions. There's various ways that that's been addressed. Stewardship agreements are kind of what I envision what Auntie Lynette and them are doing right now, which I believe is working out very well. That INA is really beautiful, and what they're doing out there is really something. And it turned, you know, a decrepit piece of property into something that's managed and cared for at really at no cost to the taxpayer. Next slide, please. So this, you know, one of these tracks really scales what's been done, already authorized by you folks. And the idea is to kind of clarify and codify that, make it templatable, and then I identify these parcels, not only that are at risk and cost the DHL money to monitor, but also that would be scalable and available to, Kanaka in the area. Next slide, please. So there's three different tracks to take. The first leg or first program is an emergency occupancy situation. So take the most at-risk parcels, something that doesn't need a lot of work, but make that available with minimal infrastructure or someplace just to house maybe the transient homeless or sweeps or people that are in need of immediate protection and shelter, And next slide, please. That's an emergency. Next slide. The second track is a transitional homesteading pilot, which really it has some regulatory relaxation to what can be done to allow for some more traditional building, but by the folks. But that sets up more of these smaller temporary housings like a Kauhale, and allows people to, have enough area maybe to have their own gardens, to be self-sufficient, and then work towards credit building or saving money without having enormous cash flow pressures on them. Next slide, please. And then this is really what I would really like to see front and center. This is what the folks like Auntie Momi and Auntie Lynette are doing, which is, you've given an unmanaged, forgotten about piece of Ina to Kanaka, and just giving them a right of entry and permission to dejunk it and clean it and manage it, and then be responsible for their own sustenance and shelter. But it gives them someplace to be, and it allows them to practice a more traditional mindset, which is just a small community of folks caring for each other on a piece of their own land, and that can be monitored in all types of different metrics, and but it really allows self-determination and a lot by lot experience that can be templated around and, temporarily alleviate people from this long-term development list that folks are waiting on. And it doesn't negate the fact that they're still going to take on a homestead someday or build credit in order to, mortgage something here in Kapolei or wherever. It gives them a real opportunity to live, in a safer, more Hawaiian lifestyle, and also defer costs to DHHL by improving the land through their own community efforts. It's the closest thing to, say, a reservation plot of land where there's real self-determination. And it can be done really without much ado by you folks at all. Next. The way that I conceive this is underneath the commission, you would authorize a PIG, a working group to further explore. And I'm going to throw some numbers up here that are, kind of sloppy math, but I think they're in the ballpark of what could be a benefit to both sides. Next slide, please. And just conceptually bringing this to you, I'm challenging the commission to kind of measure success in a different way. When I sit in these legislative hearings, or when I look at your budgets, or I sit in those meetings, and we're measuring success by encumbered dollars. and not actually placement of boots on the ground. This metric would be completely the opposite. We're going to measure success by the amount of heads we could put on a pillow at night, by the amount of heads we could put under shelter in a fast and emergency, even if it's a temporary way. And it opens a door for so many other things. Not only, our more traditional living and stewardship contents with practicing our culture and building and living and gathering and growing food and caring for our own ohana and friends that are there. But it also is something that's very trackable and quantifiable and real cost savings to the taxpayer and to the trust, by allowing this type of kind of oversight, if you will. Next slide, please. So these are those are the three paths. Next slide. This is kind of what I've just explained. This is some of the burdens that are alleviated by just letting our people kind of have oversight over some of these forgotten about parcels or underutilized parcels. Next slide, please. Beneficiary occupancy, stewardship, we've talked about. Now, next slide, please. Next slide, please. This is a map of kind of all of the areas that I highlighted to try to pick some pilot parcels from. Next slide, please. I've brought this up a couple times. There's some of the other savings impacts that I tried to look at and really sloppily quantify. Next slide, please. So if I look kind of at, and these are really broad numbers, I can have better numbers if I had access to your GIS or, DoCare reports and things of that nature to really quantify what the hard costs are. But I think this is pretty in the ballpark. When you look at an entire project, to place one person that's on the waiting list and take them all the way through a development project and until you have a finished condo or a finished house that's ready to place somebody and they qualify for a mortgage, you're going to have very conservatively at least $100,000-$350,000 into each person placed. It's really closer to 500,000. Giving this land access, right, well, really reduces that cost. Next slide.
Could you summarize?
Yeah, so let's just pile through the deck. Next slide, next slide. So I'll just show you what's in here. These are some of the hard cost savings just from the unmonitored land that you're absorbing now that aren't really tracked. Next slide. This is kind of how I imagine a pig group working. These are all very conceptual, at this stage. Next slide. That's really kind of the way we're going to have to go about it. Identifying these parcels, making the benchmarks, making the quantifications, making some of these rules to have some sort of oversight structure from you folks that make everybody company. Next slide. Next slide. Next slide. We should be towards the end of the deck. So these numbers are in there for you to study. I'm happy to answer questions. I'm happy to revisit this. I've got some resolution language to leave for you folks to consider, but I would very much like to explore this further with you, or at least have you take up the ball and do that, because I think that this type of parallel track could be beneficial to all parties involved. So, okay, I know I've gone long. Mahalo for your time.
No, thank you. You've hit some salient points, which we're trying to grapple with. Obviously, you've done some good homework. We've got a pilot going on right now, which is precedent setting for taking a look at how we deal with some of our folks who are not able to immediately go to conventional housing. Within our limited resources, both administrative and budget resources, we're looking for ways to cost avoid et cetera. And you've done a pretty good case for some of that. And we'd like to look at it. I'd like to look at it further. So stay tuned, and we know how to get hold of you, Mr. Maya.
Very good. I appreciate
you.
your time and your consideration.
Yes.
Yeah, mahalo nui.
Thank you for your time. Next testifiers, Kalenia Kea Wilson, John McBride, Kepa Ka'eho.
Hello, John McBride,
Aloha,
beneficiary.
Aloha Kalania Kale Wilson, waitlister beneficiary.
Aloha Kepa, waitlister, beneficiary, Moko Keawe.
Kungi Fa Choi, wealth and prosperity to all waitlisters, beneficiaries, especially to DHHL State of Hawaii trustees. Please elevate to heed the call, and especially to Hawaiian Homes commissioners on this auspicious year. Approve, approve, approve. Kukahi is the moon tonight. Let's stand as one with waitlister beneficiaries, and let's ride the fire horse on Kukahi Moon. Yesterday, we officially entered the year of the fire horse. A new energy, a new rhythm, a new chapter. The fire horse doesn't move slowly. It doesn't wait for permission. This is a year of action, of trusting your instincts, of choosing freedom over fear and movement over hesitation. The fire horse rewards bravery. Let this year ignite your confidence. Let it awaken your ambition. Let it remind you that you are not here to play small. Run toward what excites you. This is your year, DHHL. Let's end the wait list. Are you ready? Next slide.
There you go.
Hello, guys, John McBride. Not the first time over here. You guys know me a couple of times. We do. So I joined up with Kalani and also Kepa. Because their ideals have been the same that I've been doing for the last 20 years. We've been knocking at this door for a long time. I was so impressed to see this. I got this in my mail yesterday. Impressive. Somebody is listening. We've been trying to do this economic thing with the Hawaiians for so long. We've been trying to get on top of Mauna Kea Mountain. We worked with Joby, worked with Ayla. Now we're working with Kali. We hope somebody listening. And with that, we have these people that are here on this board. Wally Ishibashi, he was working with me. You got Pat Kawaiola. You got Louis Howell. All these people over here. And
Paula Kekahuna.
Kekahuna.
They all passed away.
Yeah, all these people passed away.
Except for Uncle Pat.
Yeah. Not
Except
yet.
Uncle Pat.
Yeah,
Not Uncle
Pat
Pat.
hanging on, yeah, he hanging on, yeah. I just talked to him the other day. All these guys have passed away, though, the other ones. And one of the guys was with them. I don't like to be talking about this from my grave. So I like this something happen. So I'm working with them, and they're going to start presenting their plan, in which I have full confidence that we can do something with Hawaiian Homes.
Next. So our mission and goals are the same. Let's resolve the humanitarian crisis. Because we're from the Big Island, we want 11,000 waitlisters on the land as quick as possible. As your fiduciary obligation as trustee, just simply approve our project that you guys have on record, and let's move forward. All of the Ahuna case, Nelson case, Kalima case, Kanahele case, they all support our project moving forward for economic self-sufficiency to help fund waitlisters getting off the list. And to remind you, we have 5 different projects that's happening with 4 different government departments. the governor's office, the mayor's office, DLNR, and we would like DHHL to jump on also to reduce this wait list. Next. So here's our letters of support from all of the homestead associations on East Hawaii, where the project submitted is in the East Hawaii district. All of the Royal Order chiefs from every district on the island of Hawaii, Trustee Danahuna, East Hawaii Commissioner Michael Kaleakini, and also the mayor, because we have two projects working on with him. Hopefully housing waitlisters soon, 50 families. So we would like to get this project with DHHL moving forward with the fire horse. Next.
Aloha kako. So waitlister priorities for the Ainamana legacy. So back in 2016, with the Mazagatani administration, we had meetings up at the historical sheep station on the Mauna Kea access road on the right-hand side. And so we had set up as normally where you would write your two concerns on your post tabs and you would tab it on a long sheet of paper, which would be organized accordingly to the count. The five main things that we all unanimously agreed upon was one, gorse removal, two, ungulate management, three, fire mitigation, four, homestead, and five, economic self-sufficiency. As we went through this progress, these things have been voted upon and agreed upon with the families of Moko Keawe, homestead associations, and waitlisters. And this is definitely the forward motion that we are looking for in this 2026, as these goals align with the Aina Mauna Legacy Plan that has already been approved and passed by the commissions and has been certified with the waitlisters and associations of Moko Keawe. And we know that there's other leases that, like the core reforestation, that's going to have an opportunity. We're excited to be partnering with them, just as we are with you folks. I believe this is the right opportunity and the right moment. And we're very excited, and I hope that you guys are excited as much as we are, the family and the communities of Moko Keawe. Next slide. So quick overview, non-beneficiary leases over beneficiary leases on the Aina Mauna Legacy. This is just for updating. This is not to shoot shots at nobody, but so the Watershed Alliance was granted access without waitlist beneficiary consultation. They already have built a house to house their workers illegally on our parcel. So the Gorse taking land back, basically my Kakani guys took back the Gorse properties without having Parker Ranch help assist financially with the Gorse that they have put on the property, which we believe that the contract must be fulfilled as leases are given. It must be received in its rightful productive space and not be outgrown by invasives. Prince Kuhio Mall did not have beneficiary waitlisters consultation. The Paniava industrial leases were conducted without beneficiary consultation. Act 14 with the airport and waitlist, with the airport transition, waitlist beneficiaries never consulted. The harbor, Kuhio Wharf, never received waitlist consultation. And the military parcels that beneficiaries that the department has issued out does not have waitlister consultation either. Neither does the tourism industry and the University of Hawaii at Hawaii and at Hilo, and all of the programs that they have adjacent or on, and the core reforestation, like I said earlier. So these are just a long history of benefits that have leaked out to non-beneficiaries. But this year, we want to move forward. We want to build on what we can do and not on the non-beneficiaries. And our community is excited. Next slide. Ahuaula, adjacent, P1. So Ahuaula was put in after we turned in a proposal to use parcel P1 to Mike. This is in the Mazagatani era. And he called us up in less than, I would say, 2 hours to approve our entrance. So we went in, and that P1 on the left-hand side, those pohakus are for those individuals you see. may have lost loved ones on the wait list, and they put on the aina, pohakus that they brought from their aina to commemorate and remember those who have passed. So that space, P1, is very dear to our community because that was our first real community engagement with the department, Mike in particular, that he led us on the parcel. You guys can see it the next time we come up. Next slide.
New administration. Mahalo. We're taking this like we're starting a brand new starting line. So let's get this done. Let's move forward. Let's work together. The past is the past. Let's end the wait list. We're here to do that. And we're all in to do that. And if approved, you're not just approving 3 people here. You're approving the island, the entire community. And that's what you guys really should think about is over the 15 years that we've been attending meetings, talking to the community, we hear the hurt, we hear the pain, and it's really, really heavy, so heavy it can bury you. And that's why the first thing needed on Mauna Kea was to award those that was grieving for their waitlist grandparents, parents that did not get awarded. We are not first. It's those who have passed first that got awarded in the community pastoral that was designated in the Aina Mauna legacy. We never think of us first ever. And that's why we have Mr. McBride here, because he was walking the walk a generation before us. And with our mentors, Uncle Louis, I don't know how many times we would listen to him, hours and hours. Auntie Paula Kekahuna from Maku'u, hours and hours. Every Sunday I go over there, talk to the Ohana, see how we can make things better. They're still waiting for their community center to be built. Wally Ishibashi, he was there the whole entire time, the past few years on Mauna Kea, because both of our families are lineal descendants to Mauna Kea. So I'm glad DHHL is making movement on the priority lineal descendancy clause also. But this is what we want. We want to be scheduled on the F agenda, hopefully next month, to be approved for this project to move forward so that the beneficiaries and the homestead associations can be positive and see the future in front of them, you know, and see the list go down every single year until it's gone. And we would like to give our Aina Mauna Legacy presentation. We would also like you to approve a waitlister program, which is the Aina Mauna Legacy one is only one of 4, but it's much broader and it looks at other lands that we can access already. And also a letter of support from the commission to do economic self-sufficiency that we could take to the DOT and start conversations with them. DLNR, start conversations with them to hopefully build up the Lahui, who's been suffering for a very, very long time. It's over 100 years already. Let's get this done. So I leave you with the last slide. Kung Hee Fat Choi, wealth and prosperity to all waitlisters, beneficiaries, DHHL trustees, Hawaiian Homes commissioners. Let's kukahi on this kukahi moon night, stand as one, and let's move forward and let's end this wait list. Let's ride this fire horse through 2026. Mahalo.
Oh,
Thank you, soon to be Dr. Wilson. We appreciate that. We appreciate the strong, steady voice that you folks bring. More quiet, more strong, and the solution that you bring. We, as you know, and you hold up the card, beneficiary consultation is one of the strong components of this commission. And we don't apologize for what's happened in the past. We just know that we have to move forward. I'm glad that you talk about Ike Kupuna, because though we are no longer present in the fight, we will always be here. So thank you for a very comprehensive look, identifying some of the problems challenges that we can jointly work. I appreciate that you folks have done homework and that you have a group that supports this, because we have to do it, Kako. We cannot do this alone. We have to do it as a concerted effort. And you've watched DHHL in this administration over 100 years. You know, we've issued 1,000 leases. Yeah, we've had 100 leases a year for all this time. And in this administration and with this chair, you've seen 3,000 last year, 3,000 this year. And we're going to continue to push with whatever resources we have, which some of the strongest resources are people and our waitlisters. So we're working on it. We know it's not fast enough. We're going as fast as we can go, but mahalo nui for
You know,
your
we
comment.
want to really
Sure.
try, I'm sorry, we want to really try to empower the Native Hawaiians economically. They have the skills, they need the venue. And we think we can provide that with working with Hawaiian Homes.
Yes, Commissioner Clea can.
Can I say something?
Yes, please.
Yeah, hey, gentlemen, mahalo. Really like that introduction. I thought we was Shark Tank. Was pretty exciting. But no, you guys doing great work. Totally 100 support what they're doing. And so I commit to working with LMD. So what the next steps are, yeah. So keep up the good work and appreciate you guys' efforts, 100%.
One more thing.
Yes.
When you guys sign on to the support letter, just take that into consideration of the support that comes with that. It's nothing light. You guys have never seen a support letter unanimously from all associations to support waitlisters. It's never happened before. And it didn't happen overnight. This is 10 years of working from the Koakia'i pilot project down. So we'll just humbly ask that you guys consider the support from our island and our family members as we move forward. Mahalo nui.
Yeah.
Aloha.
Mahalo nui.
Eola, eola kako, imo
Eola.
kako, aloha.
We have an additional testifier connected to J2, Ramona Kahikine. Yes, you have 3 minutes to do your testimony, but thank you for coming.
My full name is Ramona Lynette Kalimakuhilani Kahikina. I support everything that was just mentioned. I am the legacy for Mauna Kea. I'm the legacy to my ancestors, and the only reason I am grateful for being here, but the only reason I want to express that I am on the list. I am 74 years old, and I'm still waiting. My listing is in Big Island, and it's agriculture. And I've still been waiting, so I'm not sure exactly what the number is where I'm on the list, but I have not been offered. I have been offered maybe 6 years ago, but the only reason I'm here is to support what's just been spoken. I've been one of the kupunas that's been on Mauna Kea, and I've been there for 9 months camping, and we're there until the very end. I just want to say that everything that we Kupuna has supported, our legacy to be what we needed to be approved on the list, is declining because a lot of Kupunas can't even survive at the age I'm at. But I want to express everything that to support what he's saying. Mahalo. Thank you.
Mahalo nui. Thank you. Next testifier, Jermaine Toguchi.
Hi, my name is Jermaine Taguchi. This is Ginger. She's gonna take the rest of my minutes,
Morning.
my balance.
Ginger, what is Ginger's last name?
Last name.
No, last name, I'll go first.
Hi, my name is Ginger Goodwin, and I live in Calpea. Can you hear me okay? Okay.
A little bit better.
Sorry?
Just a little closer because the people at home and on the net also are listening to you. So
Okay.
thank you.
I lost my train of thought.
No, take it.
I have a home in Calpea, which I'm very thankful for, and I am a lessee. I'm here today representing the many voices of the Hawaiian lessees in Calpea who are asking for transparency, election of board members, minutes of meetings held, and financial reports showing where the funds are being spent. We are asking for leadership that truly represents us, board members who are lessees and who make decisions in the best interest of our homestead community. Many of you are aware, probably, of the wrong that has taken place, yet no one has stepped up to correct it. We are standing up for truth and accountability and are simply asking for what is right. Thank God for his word, which is true and by which we live. Mahalo. That's it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi. Good morning, DHHL commissioners, lessees, those on the wait list, and guests. Thank you for your presence and for your opportunity to speak today. And if I offended anyone, I ask humbly for your forgiveness in advance. My name is Jermaine Toguchi, homestead bred, a Calpea successor, and a current resident. I speak today representing over 53% of our Calpea lessees who have signed a community awareness petition and survey voicing their concerns. They were unaware of Calpea Homestead Association and meetings for election of board of directors. The issues of concern and of importance are according to Calpea bylaws. Number 1, breakdown, governance breakdown. No annual meetings for 3 years, violating Article 12. No elections held despite bylaws requiring directors to be elected by homestead beneficiaries. All board terms have expired, making current board action potentially invalid. Number 2, violation of membership and leadership requirements. Self-appointment of non-lessees contradicting Article 3 and DHHL guidance. Self-appointment of non-Hawaiian conflicting with Hawaiian Homes Commission Act 201.6, requirements for Native Hawaiian representation. Self-appointment of non-resident undermining the requirements that leadership represent the homestead community. Number 3, transparency failures, refusal or failures to provide governing documents, including amendments and minutes. Lack of financial transparency, including missing 2023 to 25 accounting records. Failure to provide minutes for the last 3 years, preventing community oversight. Number 4, fiduciary oversight concerns. Funds from KCDC distributed annually, but no clear accounting available. Number 5, procedural obstruction. Missed opportunity for reconciliation with the self-elected board, declined to meet jointly with community representatives. And a quick note, because it just happened this weekend. Calpea lessee Annie Aya had been requesting for governing documents, financial statements, and annual meeting minutes since December 9th, December 16th of 2025, and January 12th, 26th. On January 31st, 2026, we met with KCDC Executive Director and Board President to set up meeting with self-elect Board of Directors. There was no response until this past Sunday, on February 15th, at 3:31 p.m., the board emailed Annie to meet with her on Monday, February 15th, 4 p.m., 2 days before the DHL commissioners meeting. Annie couldn't make it. She had other plans and needed a few days off, notice. So she rescheduled between March 9th to March 13th. Again, they had several weeks notice. Number 6, community impact. Residents unaware of the group's operation, indicating a communication breakdown, erosion of trust between the community and the board, need for a transparent community-driven process to rebuild the governance. Number 7, path forward. Elect a new board composed of Kaupea lessees as required by bylaws and Hawaiian Homes Commission Act. Rebuild transparency through newsletters, social events, and open communications. Restore lawful governance to protect the community's interests and future generation. Therefore, with no transparency and failure to provide community meeting minutes for Ever Development by Kalani Aniole Development LLC, Kaupea Homestead Association does not endorse this project. The critical statement on Ever Development, because this board is currently operating without legal authority on community oversight, I must firmly state for the record that the Kaupea Homestead Association does not endorse the Ever Development at this time. A board that lacks transparency and valid election cannot legally or ethically speak for the collective will of the Kaupea lessees on a project of this magnitude. This non-endorsement is a matter of community protection and fiduciary necessity. Final note, our goal is not to attack, but to restore integrity. What a beneficiary shares their comments and concerns, that's just what it is, comment and concerns. It's not called an attack. Thank you.
Thank you. Is Yama Koholo in the? Okay. Annie Ea? Wow, welcome.
Right into the mic.
Testing. This is the area.
Very good.
Hey, I like that, man. Go ahead. The horse is on fire. Yeah. Okay, anyway. Aloha and Happy New Year,
Aloha,
Chairman, or whoever, what's your name?
whoever, yes.
The members of Hawaiian Homes Commission. My name is Annie Aya. I'm a resident and a homesteader in Kaupea, Hawaiian Homestead. I stand before you today not to target any individual, but to advocate for the integrity, fellowship, and the proper representation of our native Hawaiian homesteaders. In December, I attended a commissioners' meeting to bring attention to the staff and commissioners of concerns pertaining to our association and leaders. Today, I would like to highlight that over the past months, a group of us has worked hard to reach out within our community. We personally visit 326 residents in Kaupea. Out of those residents, over 200 expressed deep concern regarding the current state of our homestead association. Our community is currently facing a significant disconnect due to lack of meetings. There is a total neglect in holding regular scheduled Hawaiian homestead meetings where residents can be heard. Non-transparency. Residents feel left in the dark regarding decision, financing, and community direction, voting, and membership. There is no clear process for voting or establishing form of membership, which are the people of the association is meant to serve. Our goal is to motivate and return to integrity and fellowship. Our intent is to strengthen our association, so it truly reflects the voices of Kaupea homesteaders. We want an association that operates with transparency and accountability that our people deserve under the Hawaiian Homes Commission Act. Our request to the commission to acknowledge these concerns for the majority of Kaupea residents and to provide guidance or oversight to ensure that our association returns to democratic, transparent process that includes all homesteaders and not just recognize a small group of ladies that run along the side in lobbying your projects and behind projects that will only benefit them and not the entire beneficiaries by the special interest group. And by the way, for the record, my nephew had assisted me in creating this testimony. Kuka, kuka, the heart is on fire. Okay, mahalo for your time and helping us to restore the spirit of community in Kaupea. Thank you.
Mahalo. Thank you.
Hi, good morning. My name is Roxanne McCluskey, beneficiary and resident of Kaupea, Hawaiian Homelands. My story goes a long time ago in the 70s when I first applied. And I applied several times, and somehow my application just happened to disappear. And that's another case along the line. But anyway, I'm here to commend Annie, Jermaine, Ginger, and what they stand for, because it's true. I've been living there almost 20 years, and the same rhetoric over and over and over. The disregard and basically the disrespect of the beneficiaries, and I like to say the word beneficiary, there's a big difference, you know? And 20 years ago, we had a meeting here at the United States Department of Interior, and we were given this packet, you know, homestead beneficiary associations and what it entails. I'm sure most of you got this. Right here at this meeting, the first line, a Hawaiian Homestead Commission Act association, beneficiary association means an organization controlled by beneficiaries as defined by the Hawaiian Homelands Recovery Act, who submits applications to the state of Hawaii, Hawaiian Homelands. Okay, so I mean, it's over and over. So we're here basically to I'm here to discuss the lack thereof transparency and accountability to beneficiaries again. So I commend Annie for her attempt because this went on for decades. This isn't something that happened last night. Okay, most of us have passed away, given up, and whatnot, and so on and on and on. The same excuse, oh, well, this, and basically just disregard any request, statement, or anything. Like, you don't matter. And it's part of our history as Hawaiians, right? You don't matter. And it's got to stop, you know? And the saddest thing is that when your own people do it to you, okay? So again, thank you, Annie. Oh, you're welcome for continuing. Thank you.
Hey, but I want to say on something, but we need to get the people off the list, you know, we need to get them in a home. To me, you know, Hawaiians there, they like to live off the land, not in apartments. Like looking out like chicken cooks. No, we like the land. We like our land. We have a lot of lands out there. So give it to our Hawaiian people. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
She wants to testify?
Who are you talking to?
Sorry. I think we have a public testify.
We have a public testimony or testifier, Robert Bronco, on agenda item J4. Morning, Mr. Bronco. Welcome. You have 3 minutes to testify on item J4.
Excuse me, Pastor, but mahalo for the opportunity. You know, to this whole situation of, because I'm in the process of being a leasing of my uncle's property because of, you know, the lifestyle has changed, and uncle, you know, I rebuilt a trust for my family prior to living a very colorful life. You know, when talk about this issue, it's sad. It's just so sad because, you know, it's like there's opponents. You know, but we Hawaiians. You know, what do Hawaiians say? You know, when you get put into a position, sometimes what happens is that the position blinds you. Yeah, so you become high-minded and blinded, forget where you came from. You know, and then everything is about, you know, about issues in itself. You know, things is, has created hakaka, yeah? And once it goes into heaven, that is hard to get rid of, it's because the mindset, when Ho'oponopono is real. I'm telling you that Ho'oponopono is real. When doing them the right way, where put all differences to the side, let's come together, and what we're doing as Kanakas, we're doing it to get collective wellness, for the next generation, not about just self, being over here, I really, in Kopia, got involved with a lot of things, and had the opportunity. And one of them is when we got to talk to the people, and I know my whole street. I live on the same street as Michelle Kahane on Kahanale. And, talking with the people, with this, before they said had neighborhood watch. Now, yet, no nothing. It's like, they're like, whoa, what happened? Prior to, I continue to be vigilant in the situation. I have videos that on the hard drives that I gave to members of DHL for the fact that me alone, I caught 7 people, breaking into cars, stealing gas. Why? Because I used to be one of those guys. I know the signs. I know cars that are supposed to be there and not supposed to be there. And in the process, it's like, just call a cop. I give them an opportunity to where I have a friend that who works up at Wakanaka and the detox center and stuff like that, and that's where it started with me. With that whole situation, either my friend come pick you up, we'll take you detox, or you can go to jail. Out of the 5, 2 of them, 2 of them stay in school right now. Next semester they graduate, because somebody was there to make the change. Somebody will pray for me. Somebody will help me to make the change. But then the thing is that changing itself, and same as a community, this thing is like the thing is nonsense, like what's so hard? Like put your differences to the side, come together. Okay, can we do this? What is the right way of doing this? Not the left way. No. What is the right way of doing this? And it's so easy. But then when you get again, when you get blinded by money, when you get blinded by a status, when you get blinded by all kinds of other things, the thing, you cannot fix nothing. We cannot, this kind of stuff been going on for years and years. Back in 1800s, that's what they did to our people. They come inside, they make a little bit fire like that, they sit like that, and then they watch. The Bible says, the enemy will come at night, to plant weeds in the wheat field. In this case, they come in at night and they're planting, Haole Koa inside the core forest. And that's crazy. Why we cannot come? Why we go and challenge after? Well, the next group can come in, well, the kind and justify, no need to justify nothing. No need, even on both sides, no need to justify nothing. You guys are the mediators, we all connectors here. We're not the kind of okay mix, because we get different agendas. Put the agenda to the side. Put the agenda to the side. If you're true Hawaiian, you lay down, put down everything, and you come forward and say, how can we fix this?
Okay.
And that's all, that's all in that whole situation,
Yes.
because I'm not trying to battle nobody.
No, thank you,
And
Mr.
mahalo,
Marco.
mahalo.
Mahalo nui. Next. Next testifier, Evelyn McBrayer. She online? Online?
No.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Aloha, Commissioners. Thank you for this opportunity today. As you have heard, I just want to say what coming from as the po'o of Kaupea, it's my kuleana on the things that is happening with the community. And I just want to say as a volunteer and as we move forward, maybe communications can be done better. I just want to go ahead and focus on what we have done since I took office. On August 19, 2021, Michelle Kahane started us as we had appointed 3 of us to go forward. January of 2022 was our first official meeting. And I just want to share a little bit, but before I start, I wanted commissioners to know that yesterday at the DHHL meeting, one of our focus on our homestead was the 9-acre parcel with the 60 homes. And we thank the department because it's, since we've been engaged with this community, there was 60 homes with no community center or park. But because of that engagement in the last 4 years, March 18 will be a beneficiary consultation on that parcel with Planning Department, Lily, Makaila. And I just want to state that it is very important for that engagement with the department because of the gathering space, and I just want to share that as we move forward with the department, that 9-acre parcel is a community center and a green space that we would speak on it. And I just want to share something. E kukukulu ikaluhui. That is about self-determination, economic development, culture preservation, and homesteading. When inclusive collaboration engage with our trust administrator, it makes a successful community. And sitting next to me is both of my board members that in the last 4 years, that is our goal. I just wanted to share some of the accomplishments that we have been doing as a board. A memorandum of agreement was done in April 2024 on advocacy of the federal level that now we have legal counsel. And that was done on February. On August 11, 2025, another memorandum of agreement was done with Aina Momona for pro bono counsel to keep guidance, especially with the upcoming community benefits agreement. And as you know, Commissioner Kalei of the battles that you had with the Big Island. We've been working with the Big Island too for 2 years, so we understand. We have to understand that we as Kanakas in self-governance, we don't know anything, but I feel that the engagement with this board, that we have federal and guidance on the state level for us, what we're doing. We're young, we may not know anything, but our heart is here to serve. The other things that we have successfully done is our Kalpea Kalikimaka. And we have partnership with Hawaiian Council, the Sovereign Council of Hawaiian Homestead, Kamakana Ali'i, the Prince Kuhio, Native American Indian Housing Concept, Kalaniana Ole Development, Hawaii Film Alliance, as well as working with the unions of Teamsters and the iron workers for the projects that's consisting in our area on the EVA project, as well as the film studio. Opportunities like this give us a seat on the table for projects from the RFP process to the build out. The film studio of Queen Lokalani with three HBAs have given us the opportunity of mercantile. And that opportunity gave us 3 homestead representatives to travel to Atlanta and actually see the film studio. So we can know at mercantile of what to sustain us. Because as you know, commissioners, there is 6 community benefits agreement. It's not in the process yet. The only monies we get is $21,700 that comes from Kamakana. Previous before that was $15,507. And I can assure you we can account for those funds. What we are doing as a community, and both Danny and I, as well as Visa, we have traveled to DC. We know what it is on the advocacy of what it is for self-determination. Leadership is more than just advocacy and leadership. It's bringing together how do you bring together all the communities with solutions and reaching, like we said, 326 homes. But we do our best. And I think in the last 4 years of what we have accomplished is a lot, and it is bringing us forward. The future partnerships we have with Native tribes, our Native Council in DC is putting together for us to meet with other Native tribes so we can see the success and the failures of what self-determination is. And that is in the process that we're looking to put together.
we are also producing a newsletter that would be able to give communities the updates, and when I look at it, Danny is the Hawaiian Council Director for Human Resources. Visa is Director for Hawaiian Council for Membership. I also have Wendy, who's an entrepreneur. She is our secretary with Kihao, who works for KCDC, and she brings to the table, our culture. She's a kumahula. And all of these together, we have to move of what it is to be a leadership to move our people, and I want to share with you, commissioners, that as we move forward, we have set things for our next meeting on Tuesday, March 10th, that we can share with more of the community. And when we go out and we put meetings, not everybody come back. So that celebration of the Kaliki Maka, that was our 3rd annual, is something that we have to be innovative. How do you reach your people? Of course, they might be some that, don't see it, but we still must continue to thrive on what it is for self-governance, self-determination. And right now, I thank you for this opportunity, but I yield the rest of the times to both of the board members. Mahalo.
Aloha, my name is Danielle DeLima, and I have been on the board for 3 years. I just want to first acknowledge that a lot of what they said regarding transparency, communication, I totally agree. There's so much that could be improved upon as a board. We are all full-time workers, moms, grandmas. There's just so much going on. And if you're in community work, you know that this work just isn't easy. That being said, some of the things that is also being said is news to us. For example, when you talk about aloha and respect, I've not received a knock on my door. Auntie Ginger lives literally right next to me. We're on the DCCA. I'm part of the board member. I've not received not even an invitation to have a conversation with any of these people or the community. I will say too, in the last 2 years, there's been so many health struggles, and we are trying to be private about that. So can we do a better job? Absolutely. I think there's so much room for improvement. And honestly, I'm a little excited about all the activity that's happening, because my question is, where have you been? Right? When I joined the board, Michelle Kauhane and Uncle Lona was leading this board. There was 2 of them. Nobody was actively engaged. This was for many years. Then Ivalani came on. Then there was some appointments, because they didn't even have quorum to vote people on. So at that time, we did what we needed to do to activate as best as we could. We have done many things. We participated in the Prince School Hill parades. We've done the Kaliki Maka. Many of it, we don't get sleep. We're camping over there on the 9-acre parcel just to watch the things. We're setting things up ourselves. We've advocated for more money from KCDC so that it can increase from 15,000 to 20,000. All that money, in fact, goes right back into Kalikimaka. There's really not a whole lot of money. We don't have a printer to print flyers. We do have access to some of those resources, but I will say that, some of the things that could be improved upon is really because of the hindrance of the things we don't have. We don't have an office. We don't have a board computer. There's a lot of things. We're using all of our personal resources and time. This is just volunteer work. We're doing the best that we can. I feel like if anybody wants to have a conversation, we all live in the same homestead. So when you talk about aloha and respect, you're knocking on everybody else's door, but the board's door. How is that working? Why is it that we're going around our community, walking around the board, and you've not come to the board? That makes no sense at all. Also, when there is miscommunication and a misunderstanding, there is so much room for criticism. But have we actually tried to talk? Uncle was talking about the security watch. Okay, where you been? I've walked the security watch. There's been 2 people. There's been a couple people. Nobody show up. Same thing with the meetings. We put the notices out about the meetings. Nobody come. But all of a sudden, we have this EVA project and other projects, and there's accusations that there's hundreds of thousands of dollars. Where? We have bank records. We have agreed to show them the bank records in meeting with them. However, sending certain things online, we know that we're open for criticism and attack. We can't send you 2 years of bank records without being there so that we can answer some of the questions. It just doesn't make sense. You're not going to understand what some of these expenses are. However, every dollar is accounted for. We are very honest people. Ultimately, we are rooted in Keakua. There is nothing that we do that is illegitimate. There's nothing that we do that you can consider fraudulent. However, are decisions being made regarding projects and having seats at the table and there's disagreements? Absolutely. Could we do things better? Yes, we can. But let's talk about it. Stop going to all the neighbors. Come to us. Let's have a conversation. Thank you.
Aloha mai kako. My name is Visa Castillo. I just want to be clear for the record. I'm here to speak on behalf of the Kaupe'a Homestead Association Board as a director on the board. No other title, no other hat today. I just want to be very clear that we've been very inclusive. I can point out the names and faces of those that have come to previous meetings that we so-called have not had for 3 years. I can also point out people that have been asked to tone it down because when we open it up for questions and answers, it becomes a B session. And that's not productive for us. That's not. We've been inclusive. We've been shorthanded with quorum. I've been asked to be on the board because there weren't enough people. I have a full-time job. I have a business. I'm a volunteer, here to serve the community, here for my brother and his family who lives next door, and the future generations of our families, not just mine. Danny, she has a 1-year-old, and everybody else in this room. So for me, I'm going to end with one thing because I know we've wasted your time a lot already. I've heard a lot of bickering, a lot of nonsense. I'm going to leave with one olelo no'eo, and that's nana ike kumu. Look to the source. Again, like Danny, we never heard any of this was coming until my brother was like, who's these people knocking on my door? Until my girlfriend who works at Food Land Farm says, did you know they're doing this? No, I didn't. And the shame part is, these are our neighbors, these are our families, these are people that I've seen in the last 5 days that was like that. Nothing. So next time you need something to say, we're very open and speak to us. Healo a healo, face to face. Mahalo.
Thank you. Thank you for coming, and Danielle, I agree. Communications, that's the key. So thank you for coming. Our next testifier, Kopua Kilikoa Kamai. Take a breath. Take a breath.
I was just signing up for
Yes.
other areas besides this. So, aloha, o wau ka puakili I kua kamai, no ka aina ho o pula pula ka awa wainai mai au. Thank you for being here today. And to our commissioners, thank you for also being here today. It's very important that we're all here, even though we know we can't always, like I'm sure that our director is at the legislature or some other important place. Since we're on the subject of Kaupe'a, I would just like to weigh in on that too. Geez. All of a sudden, I can't think of her name. Ivalani. Yeah. Ivalani has done many good works, that the board has done things, but that transparency, that openness, that communication, the way that we respond to each other is what matters. Even if we disagree, you disagree to your fullest, but when you're holding a professional seat, you have to be even better. So, to the beneficiaries that have not seen that transparency, that communication, that awareness, the information that has transpired between the board and other entities such as the EVA project, that is a problem. That is a problem that needs to be addressed. And I'm glad that the board will be addressing it next month. Because as we all know, we will not always agree, even with the person that you chose for the rest of your life. You're not going to agree. So I don't know why we expect it of non-family members or even as a people, because that's just a fact of life. I also wanted I wish I would have had another moment. I'm sorry. I forgot my notes at home. I wanted to speak to some of the things yesterday, but I guess I'll just think of other things. Yeah. Okay. So we have Hawaiian homelands. And while I appreciate what our director has been doing, as in acquiring new lands, opening new avenues, making new partnerships, continuing old partnerships, I don't see the transparency in it, which causes me to suspect or not have confidence in the dealings, which is sad. So one of the dealings that I've always been speaking of is using the LIHTC. If I'm not mistaken, if we don't do it right, the LIHTC funds is open to all. And I would hate to see monies appropriated to beneficiaries being utilized for non-beneficiaries, especially when we have beneficiaries on the wait list. Today, that wait list is 50%ers. I am looking for the day that that wait list is 1/32. So I'm thinking more than the 99 years. And that's where our commissioners need to be thinking, more than 99 years. Because we're going to be here forever. It's sad that some of our beneficiaries have left, along with many of the other locals, along with our Hawaiians and non-Hawaiians. But when we lose beneficiaries and our locals, it's a sad case. So let's ensure that we're taking care of our kuleana. So as a beneficiary, which has been served, I do have my lease. I've had it for over 30 years. I am speaking for those to come. I am speaking for my mo'opuna is only 25%. Excuse me. She is not 50%. But because it can go as low as 25%, she's covered. But I want her mo'opuna's mo'opuna to be covered. And the things that we do today with LIHTC, that cause me grave concern. The other thing I wanted to talk about is that wait list. The wait list, giving paper leases is a great thing, unless 5, 10, 20 years later, you're holding a paper that says, I've been awarded a lease. This Rehabilitation Act is not about a paper lease. It is about returning us to our aina. And we have multiple avenues. Rent to own was brought in by our director, Micah Kane. And as I mentioned before, we still have those wait listers holding a piece of paper. Now with that $600 million, have we exhausted that wait list? Or did we just create another one with what we're doing now? What is the guarantee of all of these wait lists that these people will be served in a timely manner before they die? Because what I'm thinking is, now we're going to need a list for the wait listers with the lease. And that's why our subsequent directors, Joby and William, were challenged. How do you meet those that the department, the commissioners, has already approved while you're trying to serve new people? How do you do that? Especially when we weren't in receipt of sufficient funds, which we are still not in receipt of sufficient funds. 600 million is not enough. 600 million twice a year would get us closer to there in a decade, because the price is going up. and speaking to the prices, because we're making so many homes and we have so much relationships, as a director had said yesterday, with new and old people like Gentry, we still have marked development. When you make multiple, are we getting the Costco benefit of bulk purchasing? Even though it's here, it's there, but we're still working with the same companies. And if we're not, why not? Why aren't we getting that bulk purchase price opposed to independent price? And I also want to speak to, babe, I don't see my time. I want to be respectful. Okay, I see it. Okay, thanks. I want to be respectful of that because I'm shooting in the blind. But we have other challenges along with us too, right? We talk about geothermal, and we're going to have a consultation before anything is approved for Oahu's considered geothermal. We need to have a beneficiary consultation. And we're going to have us that agree, don't agree, support, don't support, but then you bring it out and then you weigh it. I'm not so sure about geothermal. I'm not sure about it coming out of Hawaiian homeland fundings. I'm great it coming out of the ledge, but not if it's under the bucket of Hawaiian home fundings, because that's less homes. On the same side, it helps with our energy, right? So, and we need this, but we also need to manage population. So while we say we're building homes for ourselves and we're helping private entities, the state and the county, to build for non-beneficiaries, main thing is that we serve the beneficiaries first. Anything on Hawaiian homelands, anything spent by Hawaiian homeland dollars needs to serve us, the beneficiaries. I want to thank you for your time. And yeah, mahalo nui.
Thank you, Kupo. There's a pen. It's right there. I know McDonald, next testifier.
Hi, Kako.
Aloha.
I'm going to share screen.
Okay, 1 second. Okay.
Okay, let me. Oh, I lost my camera. Okay. Just confirm once
Okay.
you can see the whole screen. Can see the whole screen?
Not yet.
Okay. How about now?
No.
Oh, shucks. Okay, I show it sharing on my side. Hold on, let me try again. Kalamai.
No worries.
How about now?
Not yet.
Ugh. Oh, I see. Okay. It's still blank.
Yeah, it's black.
Okay. Let me try to escape. Okay. Hanaho. Well, it's eating at my time.
No, I didn't start the timer.
Oh, goodness. Why is it picking today to not work? Sorry. All right.
You want us to go to the next person and come back?
Let me just try one more time, Kalamai. Yes, just go because I can't seem to. It seems to just be thinking and showing me its sharing screen, but it's not. But just go to the next person. I'm so sorry.
No, we'll be back.
Okay.
Sure.
Because I don't see Auntie Kikoa in there.
Next testifier, Auntie Home Shida. No, she's, okay, all right, we'll get her.
Well, Demont is here.
Oh, Dumont, would you mind
Yeah.
at this point? Next testifier, Dumont Manaole.
All right. Aloha. Dimon
Aloha,
Kalai
welcome.
Manaole, co-manager ho Manapono Yosia, Native Wine Advocacy Corporation operating out of the Waianae Coast. I'm here with my beautiful wife, Aiko. And I would just like, first of all, I'd like to take a small moment because on Sunday, for the second time in my life, I lost somebody near and dear to me. My biological mother passed on September 28, 1995, while I was in Halava. Was on big trip because nobody wanted to come tell me what happened. Security wasn't sure about how I would react. So they had to go call my counselor from Kailua who just left work, drive all the way back from Kailua to ensure if whether or not I was in the right state of mind to receive that information. And that gave me cause for pause because I felt ashamed that people would fear my reaction if I heard that news. Well, just on Sunday, I got a call. My Hanai mom passed. This family took me in when I was 15 years old. They loved me all these years, stayed with me all these years, supported me all these years, never judged me all these years. So to honor my Hanai mom, I come with the most humble heart before I speak, because I have some hurting on my heart right now. So I'm gonna just say this. You know, if somebody got a lie on you, you already won. You already won. If somebody lying on your name, they're shitting on your name, they're disrespecting your name, don't worry about it, bro, because you already won. One of the last things my Hanai mom told me is, boy, you're doing really good out there. Keep fighting for the people, yeah? So that's what I'm doing. I'm going to continue doing what I'm doing. And why I'm talking about this is because I recently received a letter from the department. It was very troubling that I received this letter because in the letter, there's statements made in there that is absolutely 100% not true. So I went comply. I went, I was talked to, and I went agree to comply insofar as to show that I doing good faith. But I'm gonna tell you guys this, bro. I've been on that INA for almost 3 years now. Before this administration even came into the administration, I was already on the INA. I got the tacit approval by the last administration and the commission, because the commission had an opportunity to put a stop to it, and they chose not to take that route. This commission and this administration has been a godsend and blessing to our people, because prior to this, we never had anybody listen to us. Nobody gave a rip about us. They only talk about the haves and not the have-nots. This administration has opened the doors to us. This commission has opened the doors to us. So I got nothing bad to say about that. But what I will reject always is when somebody come and write in one letter lies about we're not doing subsistence ag. We've been doing subsistence ag. I get my own garden, my wife get her own garden, and the community has a garden that they can come there and participate in what it is to do subsistence ag. When they talk about, oh, there's evidence of grubbing, bruh, all those roads that we ain't go repair was already there. We just didn't put coal plane on a thing, right? And you know how I know you guys know this? Because the pig was there. We got videotape of the pig being there, seeing all that, taking a tour of that. And you're gonna tell me I did that against the rules. I've been keeping the department updated all this time. I have records, I have pictures, I have video, documented proof that what we did. But yet I get one letter telling me I'm not doing that. But I get proof. No lie on me, bro. I already know I won because you had to lie about what I did or didn't do. I take offense to that. And I'm very proactive when people think that they can just step on me like that. The last thing I would like to say is Hawaii Vice Statutes 171 is not a Hawaiian Homes Commissions Act law. It is a law that is specifically created for Department of Land and Natural Resources. You got a Deputy Attorney General sitting right here. And if we go in and challenge that in court, I'm going to tell you something right now, bro. You cannot lie in the courts, bro. You cannot go to court and act like this is a real thing. Because you will get called to the carpet. If you're a lawyer and you falsify information to the court, you will be held to account for that. You know how many revocable permits you guys get going on out there that rely on 171? All those will be invalidated. The only reason why people agree to do that is because we just want an opportunity to operate on our own homelands. And if borrowing one statute from another division is going to help, then so be it. But don't act like that's the law of the land. And to end this for me, before my wife speaks, the commission, your job, you are the executive board of the department. You control the department, not the department control you. It is you, the executive board, that will be held accountable for the errors that the department does. You know how I know this? Because there's already a Hawaii Supreme Court about it, Aged Hawaiians versus the Hawaiian Homes Commission, that was decided in 1995. You got a Deputy Attorney General sitting right next to you. And have that Deputy Attorney General write up an opinion that that law doesn't say what we know it says. That the commission is the one that's going to be held responsible for what the department does. So I would caution you. I am not against you. I'm not against the department. I'm here to continue to support the department and the commission, regardless of the attacks that I've been getting. Because it's not personal for me. I'm not going to do the boy. I'm not going to be over here go talk crazy against the department. Or because my feelings is hurt. I don't do that. I still at the legislature, I still testifying in support. Even OHA tripping right now. Last week I went over there and supported one of their bills, and as soon as I got up on the podium, they was tripping. They was like, oh boy, here comes the man, because we get a lawsuit and he's still tripping. But when they saw that I was there to support them, they was relieved. Because it's not personal, bro. The suit is not against you guys. The suit is against the people that was in your seat before you even came here. So I'm going to rest with that. With that, I'd like my wife speak.
So I'm sorry, but I'm a very emotional person. And, that letter really hurt me too. It hurt me for a number of reasons. First off, When my husband decided to make this program, all we heard is why demand? Why demand? I'll tell you right now. Because Demond's the only one that thought of this program, and Demond's the only one that did something about it. He didn't do this for himself. He did this for all the beneficiaries that cannot afford a mortgage. So that's what pissed me off. Then you hear all these complaints about, oh, he jumping the list. Okay, first of all, there is no list for vacant, unmanaged lands. There is no list because there has never been the department giving out vacant, unmanaged lands. This is a pilot program. When we got that letter, and it said, like my husband said, there's one thing that I cannot stand in my life is people that lie. I told my kids growing up, I don't care what you did, how bad you messed up, do not lie to me. You lie to me, you will get in trouble as much as I can get you in trouble. But you tell me the truth, I don't care what it is, I will help you. So when we got that letter, and the one violation that he's talking about, that he did get talked to, and he in good faith is rectifying it. But the other violations of us, first of all, making a negative impact on the INA. Okay, let me tell you something right now. When we got on that INA, it was full of car parts, it was full of rubbish. That is the negative impact on the INA. It's because it was vacant and unmanaged for years. That is the negative impact. We made it in positive impact because we cleaned it up. A lot of it was with our own truck, with our own hands. We cleaned it up. So nothing we did to that INA was negative. Everything was positive. Okay? Saying that we didn't fix the fence lines, which is BS. Because you cannot tell me that the letter went out before, you know, how you get these in transition things, because the fence line was fixed months ago. Every single one of our neighbors, that's BS that the neighbors are complaining, because every single one of our neighbors we talk to, and they are happy that we are there. We even help our neighbors. Okay? Then to talk about we're not doing subsistence ag. We've been eating off the INA for months. Eating off the INA. Our chickens give us eggs. We haven't had to buy eggs for like 6 months now. You know, and to think that somebody in this department, and I'm not going to say names, but somebody in this department, whether it's because they don't like my husband, they think he's bucking the system, whatever the reason is, somebody in this department is going to risk and throw away a pilot project that has already worked. Throw it away for all the beneficiaries out there that cannot afford a mortgage. All because of what? You have to add lies onto the one thing that possibly, and he's working it out, one thing. You're going to add on lies just to make yourself feel better so that you can have a whole list of things on a paper. The one picture that came with the picture did not show any of the Subsistence Act, did not show nothing else that we did. It only showed the one thing that they wanted to go after. We invite everybody. I don't know about my husband, I invite every single person watching this to the INA. We invite everybody, anytime. There's been people that have been there. The department sent the enforcement team because they wanted to address the problem. The enforcement team was there. We have proof. You cannot just grow these things, you know, overnight. We didn't plant them there to show for these people. We have been working hard for a year, and we have done everything plus more of what was expected on the right of entry. So I'll be damned if I'm going to sit by and let this program ruin something that Native Hawaiians have had a long time coming. I am not Hawaiian, but as a humble guest of Hawaii, lands need to be returned to Hawaiians. And my husband's project will return probably half the list. We've already committed to helping the next person. We've already committed to assisting in running this program, helping to manage this program. You know, so like I said, anybody, anytime, we invite you to the Aina. We have nothing to hide, but everything to show. That's all I need to say.
And as far as the trucks is concerned, that issue, there is no rules. There is no rules that the department can point to that you cannot have trucks on the vacant unmanaged lands. There's no rules for the vacant unmanaged lands. And as far as that area is concerned, we got Henry's Trucking over there. We got JN Trucking over there. It's an agricultural industrial area right down there, Lulole Homestead Road on that dead end street. So when I talk to my neighbors, I say, hey, how come you get trucks and you guys complaining about trucks? He goes, we're not complaining about no trucks. We get trucks all day long. They get trucks over there. So somebody lying to you guys, somebody falsifying information to you guys. There is no rules about that. And the only reason why the trucks is there is because that company went out of their way to come help us. We don't pay them. They come over there and volunteer their time. So I told them, instead of bringing your trucks all the way from Waianae Valley to come over here for half an hour work and dig out again, you can rest over there, because in the contract, it says invitees. I can have invitees. And I said, you are my invitees to be here and to be able to do what you need to do when you can have time to do them. So in between their regular work schedule, they come and do work. Sometimes they do work on a weekend. They're the ones who repair the fence. They're the ones who repair the gate. The brand new gate that we get up there, on the first gate, they got my flag up there. They put that up there. But yet the department said we never do that. Come on, bro. Don't lie on me, bro. I'm going to continue to support the commission. I'm going to continue to support the department in spite of this unnecessary thing. But I can tell you this much. I'm not that guy. I am not that guy, bro. You know what I mean? You guys want to take it to task? You guys want to do negative against me? Fine. I know how to be able to protect myself. And I don't have to go that route. You know what I mean? I came here, started with position statement, and I'm going to continue to hold that ground. Just no lie on me. That's all I say.
Thank you, Dumont and Aiko, for coming. I regret the hurt that you feel. I know that is, when you talk about that being Dumont's project, that is our collective project. It's our
True that.
partnership with
Yes, it is.
you folks. It's an initial attempt to do something that, as we know, has never been tried before.
I agree.
We want to see this project work, because the goodness that comes out of it is going to help everybody.
It's bigger than all of us.
It is. So I regret that, that events have caused you hurt. We'll continue to work closely with you folks. We'll try to do whatever we can to support and to make sure that we produce good data, which you folks are able to do. The PIG is active in looking at it. You do invite everyone out there. We know that. I've been out there a couple of times over the period. We'll continue to work together. We'll continue to make this project successful, because that's a hope that we collectively have for our people. So again, thank you for coming. Our condolences to your Hanai mom. Absolutely.
Thank you.
But thank you.
So just for the record, I have tons of blisters on my fingers to prove that I pulled every single weed side by side with my husband.
Okay, thank you. We'll enter that into evidence, Aiko. Thank you. Mahalo.
Oh, there she goes.
Okay, next testifier again, Kainoa McDonald. Your presentation is up on the screen.
Okay. Oh, mahalo nui. All right, we're at the first slide. Okay,
Yes.
perfect. Okay, I just did it in another format. So mahalo nui again, Hawaiian Homes commissioners and beneficiaries across Pi Island in the room. So, wow, it's been quite a heavy morning. So I kind of wanted to clear space because, you know, what we talk about is so important. So just gonna give a quick olelo noya so it can help to ground me. Because all this mana'o is quite heavy. So mine that I'm going to choose is lave I ka ma'alea ku ono ono. Take wisdom and make it deep. It's just trying to get this space clear because I know that there's just been so much talk, and we want to, in my slide deck, my vision was to really pursue our organizations as Homestead Association organizations to bring the collective and the collective voices together. So my name is Kainoale McDonald. I am the Sovereign Council of Hawaiian Homestead Association's Maui Lanai Council Director. And so I'm giving you this slide deck today on behalf of two of the organizations of which I serve. So this is pretty much a repeat, but I'm giving you a recap of what we did in 2025 into the current space that we are in now in 2026. So Homestead Community Development Corporation, they facilitate our monthly Zoom meetings, which hosts a myriad across Pai'aina, and we've extended to the continent of homestead associations across Maui and Lanai, and we've extended to Big Island, oftentimes through the continent as well. In attendance, we have Hawaiian Homestead Board leadership, as well as those who are on the wait list or the Hawaiian Homes Commission Act beneficiaries. Throughout 2025, we are seeking to build bridges. And when I say build bridges, we build bridges from our organizations alongside. We don't speak for the homestead associations, we speak alongside them. And engagements that we scheduled were presentations by the Department of Hawaiian Homeland staff in Nahasda, Native Hawaiian Housing Block Grant, the planning department. We've had multiple engagements with the modernization department in the new website and the new Salesforce engine that's going to help beneficiaries. We've also have 2026 legislative bills with Oriana, which give beneficiaries and leadership an insight as to what DHHL is doing and how that we can bridge the information gap. We've also since engaged, thanks to Stacy and Auntie Ulu, with the public access room, which was an instrumental training of which I'll share in a little bit. The initial results, because we always talk about engagements, but what are those results that came out of that? Education and empowerment, homestead association engagement that we would otherwise may or may not be able to engage with because we all are on different islands. And as we heard in Kaupea, we have extremely challenging calendars and all this kuleana that we serve to our communities. We've also been able to provide resource navigation, how to navigate through programs like Nahasda, getting into the legislative engagement, as well as helping Department of Hawaiian Homelands really get through their process on how to help beneficiaries get over that gap and bring real transparency. So that has tremendously helped our beneficiaries and our board leadership to go back into their communities and spread the word. So these are just quick snapshots. These are our Shaw monthly meetings again. We do have community engagement events. One of those has been with Kalpea, And not just because Ivalani is my hoaloha, my friend, but because we serve on the Sovereign Council of Hawaiian Homestead. Therefore, we serve alongside homestead associations and we support them as much as we can. And I've been attending Kaupea's Kalikimaka events over the last 3 years, flying down to Honolulu. We've also, this past December, this is a snapshot of a partnership with Toys for Tots, the military, as well as some Maui churches. And we received over 2,100 pieces of toys that was then dispersed throughout only the Hawaiian homes. Now that is really important because otherwise we would have to have had partnered with other churches and other organizations. But all of these toys in this particular photo went throughout all of the homestead associations, all the way from Kahikinui to out to the west side. And so this shows the breadth of where the shawl is moving in terms of engagement and where we're going for 2026. So here's a collaboration, which I think is really important between the Shaw and the all or the wait list. We had advocated on the HASDA transparency, especially with awards at Pu'uhana. And so that result helped us to work with Department of Hawaiian Homelands, their NAHASDA, with Richard Medeiros and bring in the modernization to be able to work face-to-face in a place to where the kupunas of Paukukalo, and we also had one in Nanakuli, to be able to then talk to the NAHASDA staff to kind of go through what is it that they need, what is required, what are documents that are required to be able to walk through that process and apply for the homeowner assistance program. And I have to say, in the first iteration, it was a complete 200% success. And these are just some photos. The impact for Maui is about 11 Hawaiian Homes beneficiary kupuna actually sat with the staff and was able to actually apply. So another portion of that is called empowerment. We flew to Honolulu, and again, this is an exact example of how the department can work with homestead associations. And they're not being singular. We're asking them to help house a program that we had implemented on Maui to bring to Honolulu. And this was called MACA, and that was Makua Accountable Keiki Accelerated. And we had 20 beneficiaries from Nanakuli to Papakolea, and that came in, and we just spoke about preparing the leadership for the long road ahead. So when we talk about Kako'o, we're not just doing it, but we're giving them tools to be able to build upon that as leaders. So last for the shawl, because I'm going to go into the all wait list, just an FYI, September 15th through 17th on Oahu at Ala Moana Hotel, we will be hosting our Hawaiian Homeland Sovereignty Conference. We are seeking sponsorship opportunities and we are building out that programs. I know last year for the all, we did a NAHASDA workshop, which turned out to be really informational. So any homestead associations that are interested about giving us some ideas, definitely contact myself or Ivalani, and then we can go ahead and talk about either sponsorship or having small workshops. So the second organization that I serve on is the Association of Hawaiian Homestead Association of Hawaiians for Homestead Lands. So this is a waitlist organization. Again, just mahalo to Kalani Akea, who also sits on our board, for really just being instrumental in trying to get these projects that are specifically to the waitlist heard. So we do in 2026, we did vote a new board members that are nominated. I don't want to go into that now because we still have this month to vote in the rest of our moku honu or continental seats. So those will be announced. Our priorities are going to be really to unify beneficiary voices, their leo, from across Mokupuni and the continent. And these moku honu seats are important because they bring the leo from the continent. So I'm super excited to get our board members going and then announce our 2026 board members. I'm going to go through this. I know I have only 50 seconds, but these were advocacy points. how we inform, advocate, engage, and strengthen our community. And in 2025, that was our target list, and we checked off the box for every single one. And we're looking at what we are doing in 2026. So I'm just going to show you just really briefly. I'm not going to take up too much more time, but this is how we inform our people. When we say kako'o, we were on January 15th, there was a bill 2260. In that bill, there was language in there we felt would diminish the Hawaiian Homes Commission Act and the wait list. So we held a Zoom meeting. That Zoom meeting had 40 island-wide and continental leaders that came on, and basically we had a consensus. At that point, we deploy what is going to be called the Ala Ku'e petition. That petition was in opposition of Bill 2260. What happened next, that 2260 and that kako'o allowed us to push out information because we went to the leadership went to their communities, and then we were able to see that within days of finding out that this bill was going to the House or it's actually to the Senate Hawaiian Committee, we were able to get that deferred. And that deferred then led to a deletion. And that also was able to prepare beneficiaries to engage. And that also helped us to connect with the PAR to be able to bring in training that was real live time, where beneficiaries could then be able to access that information and the how-to step by step on what to do to submit testimony. Lastly, this is what we engage, and this is really our silver bullet. We were able to look at the social media side to extend that layer, extend the engagement across social media. Sometimes social media cannot always be positive, but in this time, we were unified in that voice and then utilized island Kanaka influencers to carry that message for us. And then we were able to get over 3,000. And that collaborative approach really takes that kako'o and that understanding that we are not speaking for people, we are speaking with them in voices and realms that they may not know exist or they may not be able to participate. And we're helping them to participate. This also helps us to implement alongside the homestead associations for them to collectively participate. And then lastly is how we strengthen communities is we help one another. So in this case, it was supporting Bill 2924 for President of Kanahele Homestead Association, Uncle Randy Akau, came out to the all into the shot to ask for that support. And then we were able to help him to build his capacity support throughout the Pai'aina, and he was able to get some continental leadership to chime in. So that's what we're up to in 2026. We're looking forward to a new board, new leadership, and a new visualization of what we're going to do to kako'o across Pai'aina and how we can bring our continental families home. So mahalo.
Thank you for your testimony, Kainoa. It's refreshing to see Hawaiians moving forward and spreading that word, not just amongst our people here in Hawaii, but across the continent. And because you've chosen social media and to use it to leverage that communication, people get to see what it is that you're doing. The Association of Hawaiians for Homestead Lands is impressive that you're trying to gather collective voices. And, you know, as we know, we're trying to get beneficiary consultation as much as possible in this administration. And we appreciate your leadership. We know that every commissioner that's here, and you know, we understand selflessness, and this is done on our own dimes. And so for you to be doing the work like that, we commend you and thank you very much for your testimony today.
Mahalo.
Next, testifier Homilani Scheidel. And while we're waiting, Commissioners Lasua and Kalepa, thank you so much for staying online with us. We appreciate that. And Sonoy also. Thanks for being out here to back up Commissioner Gilikini and us as we're doing proceedings. So mahalo nui.
Aloha, Commissioner Kaniakua, in place of our Chair, Kali Watson, and those of you who join us on Zoom and here. My name is Homilani Shadell. I'm a beneficiary and I reside in Maloahai Homestead. I have comments that I'd like to make. First of all, being that mahalo, Commissioner Kaniakua, for attending the community meeting. I hope you enjoyed the me'ai and the presentations. Our homestead associations and all of our community residents were very appreciative. So speaking of Maloahai, I know I've come before you regarding two urgent matters, that being traffic calming and also the easement turnover with VOCA. Of course, I had an opportunity to speak with Kalani, who assured me that the traffic calming measure is moving forward. And I know you were going to be working with him on that. So thank you very much. I look forward and I'll continue to come to you all until that is done.
We're confident in that.
Oh, absolutely. And I see the progress that can be made, evidenced by the traffic calming measures that's been placed in Kanahili, and I'm very happy for our Kanahili homestead residents. The urgency in the voices this morning about, and the voices across our Pai'aina regarding the need to get our people on the land. And these voices are being very creative in their approach to how they can help our Department of Hawaiian Homelands bring all of that forward. There has been multiple discussions with various concerns and different approaches that I'm so happy to hear from those who live in our Pai'aina that come forward and let their voices be heard. Obviously, this is the legislature time, and one of the things that struck me that I want to share with you all is when I looked at the DHHL applicant summary as of February 1st, that's in your packet, I took just the residential applications and the residential and agriculture applications. And from 29,587, I came up with 24,299. That's the applicants, right? But the number that we are not talking about is on the low side. If you take that 24,299 and multiply it by 4, that's 97,196 people. If you take it and multiply it by 6, it's 145,794. And if you take it to 8, it is 194,392. That is the number that I would like DHHL staff and the commissions and anyone out there who is listening, use that number, 194,392, because that is the number that represents the people potentially that are waiting for their lease. The applicant is on the lease, but we must not forget that they have Ohana currently living with them. They need to be counted. Their numbers need to be used when we're talking about statistics. Almost 200 of our people are waiting because they place their names as applicants. 200, almost 200,000. And that's at an average of 8 per family. And we well know that many of our families are more than 8. I can tell you, I know that. When I was delivering meals during COVID, I had several families that had 10 and 12 people in their homes. So please share that information with staff, use that information when we're talking to legislatures. And then finally, my last comment is about the issues that KCDC has had to deal with. I'm sure you noticed that I kept running in and out of this building yesterday, not only to use the bathroom, but kept running in and out because we had a sewage problem, a sewage backup that resulted in the closure of our center since January 24th. I want to extend my appreciation to Kalani and the planning department for stepping in and assisting KCDC with resolving this issue, which, as a matter of fact, they started the work yesterday, and today they're going to finish the connection. I bring this to your attention because while we know that Gentry has been a good partner and developer with the Department of Hawaiian Homelands, in this situation, they failed. They clearly failed their kuleana. Whether directly or indirectly, because the contractor they had did not do the work properly. And as a result, our community, our center, has been greatly impacted by that. We will address it. We'll continue to address it with the department, along with planning department and Kalani. But I just want to bring that to you because there is so much going on different parts of the island. And this is what can happen. The problem, when it's in the ground, you can't see it. A lot of work has to be done, a lot of investigative work. That costs money. This is going to cost the trust some money because the department had a license agreement regarding the utilities. But I'm urging you as commissioners that when we're looking at developers, we need to be very diligent on their work, the quality of their work, so that it doesn't impact the residents later on down the road. Maluahai has had to deal with leakage, water leakage, because the developer who installed the lateral line to the house line did not use copper. They used PV, which failed. If you come to our homestead, and I'm sure in the other homesteads here in Kapolei, except maybe Kauluakahai, because they're rather new, you're going to see patches on our road. Drive through our roads. You'll know what I'm talking about. So it's very important that the planning department staff understand that the developers need to be held accountable for the quality of their work so that it does not cost our trust funds that's not necessary, shouldn't be necessary. So with that, mahalo for your time.
Thank you very much for your testimony. We appreciate your hospitality. Our next testifier, Keikoa Enomoto, if you are online. If Keikoa is not online, Jojo Tanemoto. Okay, we'll pass on to Ivahiva Kaheaku.
Aloha, I'm present.
Excellent. Thank you.
Hi. Okay. So I'm not sure why, but I'm getting a response saying that my video won't start. Is it okay if I continue it with my video off?
Yes, you can, and we'll figure out your video as we go along.
Let me try real quick, and if it doesn't work, then we'll just continue. 1 second.
Right, please continue.
Okay, so I'm here today on behalf of my ohana, the Danelle Maderis, and my question is for the commission. We were informed back in December, December 12th, we got our order denying our motion for reconsideration and an order granting a new contested case hearing. And we were also informed that a new case would be initiated in January and that a hearing officer has already been hired for our case. As you can see, now we're in February and I haven't heard anything back from the commission. I have sent out multiple emails and I was supposed to be a part of the January agenda to check up on this, but I didn't receive the email adding me to the J agenda. So I just wanted to know, is there an update for our case?
So for yours in particular, the Department of Accounting and Services has not yet certified your hearings officer. And that's our bureaucratic holdup for that. It's in progress. And that's the status of the contested case.
Okay.
And we expect to see it. We thought that we might see it for this month. We have not seen it yet, but we expect to see it anytime now.
Okay. So as soon as the hearing officer gets assigned, and then we can move forward.
Yes.
And we're hoping that within, so we're looking into March.
Hopefully, yes.
Okay. I did also reach out, and I know that it may not be a normal thing, but because my ohana is houseless at this time, I did reach out and request that if they could be returned to their home, especially with the sweeps that they're having in Anakuli. It's not easy for them to live in a tent and have to move. And so I did request back in December if they could be returned back into their home while we're waiting and going through this process.
I'm going to have to look into that for you, and I will be back to you before the end of the day on that.
Okay.
On that request. I'm unfamiliar with it, but we'll research it and I'll get back to you before the day is out.
Okay, it was emails I submitted back in December, specifically to Danelle and Kelly both lost their son, who was also living on in Nanakuli Beach, and he ended up drowning while sleeping in one of those, what is it called? It's like one of those little shelter things that they have on the beach, and a wave kind of covered him and he drowned. So it was back in December when I requested that they be returned to the home while we're waiting during this process, because it's already been a year. I know it's not necessarily your like it's them being houseless is a direct effect from the commission, but it's not necessarily your issue. But anyways, my point is that they don't have anywhere to live, and it's their kupuna. So I was hoping that they could be returned to their home.
Let me take a look at it, and I'll give you a call on the status of that request.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
That was all.
All right. Thank you very much. We appreciate your testimony. Thank you. Next testifier, Kenna Gibson. Stromo Gibson.
Hi, aloha, Chair Kaniakua and commissioners or acting chair, yes. And commissioners, I really want to thank you for participating and allowing a public process. It's very important to have faith in our public processes for many reasons, as you know. And I am just grateful that you all are here carrying on this important work. As you know, I've been here almost every month for 2 years. And I wanted to say, I just wanted to give an update. I know we are still in active litigation. 3 residents have lawsuits about their Uniform Relocation Act rights. But I want to explain something that's been concerning. And it continues to happen. And I just think everyone should be aware. So on November 30th, the Department of Hawaiian Homelands presented a 90-day notice to vacate. And this notice, it's the first sheet right here. Sorry for the commissioners there, but it essentially did not provide this resident, Michelle, with a comparable apartment, with details about her rights or her rental assistance, and she came and testified about this. A few days later, it was made known that there was an active court case against Hawaiian Homeland. So the notice was November 30th, December 3rd, papers were served. And then a few days after that, that 90-day notice was rescinded, right? And it says, this letter serves as formal notice that the 90-day notice previously issued on November 30th, 2025 is hereby rescinded and withdrawn effective immediately. After careful consideration of new information, which could be litigation, we have decided not to proceed with the actions outlined in our prior notice. As a result, any provisions, obligations, or deadlines associated with the original notice are no longer in effect, and all terms and conditions of our existing agreement will continue as previously established. A new 90-day notice will be issued with an extended date. Well, Michelle has, and other residents, it was not just her, she testified, but there are several others, and they have not received a new 90-day notice, but other residents have just recently in the last few days received a 90-day notice with the same ongoing concerns and problems. And that's the question, that's the concerning part, because this is January 29th, not that long ago. This letter sent to Isabel Reed Cargill and other occupants and also other residents, again, is a 90-day notice that says at the end of it, in bold, you are given 90 days to hereby quit and deliver up possession of your property on or before May 31st. If you do not vacate the premises by that date, the displacing agency will initiate legal proceedings to recover possession of the premises along with rents and damages. Now, if I was reading this letter, I would not feel very supported in my process to relocate. In fact, I would feel like, wait a minute, wasn't I supposed to be given a comparable apartment? Wasn't I supposed to be given word of rent assistance? Or even notified if I'm eligible and what benefits I'm eligible for? So understandably, many of these residents are still calling, concerned, wondering when their Uniform Relocation Act rights will be upheld. And, you know, at the end of the day, it's difficult to relocate people on Kauai. We know that. We do know that. But these are federal funds, $25 million of federal funds. And this is a kuleana that has been taken on by this department. And to continue sending notices without literally showing people a place to live and where they're going to move, it's just not following the Uniform Relocation Act. So I guess I would just urge this commission to ask questions. Why are we doing this? Who's in charge? Melissa Mann, this person right here, Melissa Mann. She works for a brand new company that was formed on May 19th of this year. So I just would encourage people to continue to ask questions, because the residents, they're not feeling supported. They're not feeling like they're being shown comparable housing. And frankly, they're feeling like they're being pushed out without options. So I just implore this commission to continue to ask questions of your contractors and your consultants and others. Thank you.
Thank you. This is our last call for testifiers. Yama Koholo or Keikoa Inamoto or Jojo Tanimoto. Last call. All right. We have come to the end of this month's agenda. Thank you for your participation and your patience. Commissioners, thank you so much for being here so that we had quorum so that we could hear testimonies. Our next regular Hawaiian Home Commission meeting will be March 16th and 17th here at Hale Ponui 915420 Kapolei Parkway, Kapolei, Oahu. Please visit our website for the 2026 meeting schedule and information on awards, projects, Salesforce update, and much more. Before we adjourn, any other comments by any of the commissioners on board? Okay, there being none, the meeting is adjourned. Commissioners, if you'll stay on board for us online, we still have some business to conduct. And so if you just stay for a moment before we depart. Deliberation. You're to stay on board for further deliberation. Thank you. We are adjourned.